4 or 5 minutes max.
No, I always think my kids, I have 500. They all go at the end of the day. Thank God.
Make sure I have your name here. So what is your name, sir? Hey, wow.
Yeah.
I see 154.
Okay, hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Art in the Basin. Yeah, trying hard to speak a little bit above the noise that's happening here in this very live cafe. Thank you, Monomore Coffee and Wine, for hosting us. Without further ado, we should lower that music. I'm sorry. It gets loud before it gets quiet in here. Welcome to Monomore Coffee and Wine. I'm Amy Joy. This is Art in the Basin. We have a show for you tonight. Stick with me. Settle in. Welcome. So happy everybody's here. Braving the cold. Password was BRR, right? For the Zoom people. Without further ado, please help me welcome the man who will guide you for the next hour. Tim W. Brown, author of 4 novels, my favorite, Second Act, once known as the minor god in the Chicago poetry scene. You don't have to genuflect, you don't have to kiss his ring, but please help me welcome Tim W. Brown.
Oh, good evening, everyone. We have a special night going here. Have a comedy and poetry. We hope the poet will appear before too long, but we'll head on through this without her. Yeah, so thanks for coming out again. Thanks to Monomore Coffee and Wine. Just wanted to let everyone know we are in our 8th year of existence now. We have been here almost every other Tuesday for going on 8 years. Same place, Monomore Coffee and Wine, with a little bit of a sideshow in Washington Heights at a place called Wahiza that lasted a year. But our home base is here and always has been here. And we're grateful that they have us come out. And we're grateful that you're here. And we have participants on Zoom as well. Hello, Zoom people. Anyhow, it is February already. Super Bowl Sunday is this Sunday. I often consult poemhunter.com, a website that has thousands and thousands of poems online by some famous and not so famous poets. Didn't find one for the Super Bowl, however. That's a niche that needs to be filled, a Super Bowl poem. I did, however, find numerous Valentine's Day poems, and I thought I would read you one now. This is by the Scottish poet Carol Ann Duffy, and I like the poem. And then I read here that Carol Ann Duffy is the first female poet laureate of Scotland in 400 years. I thought I would read this poem. Well, let's go to the images. Always easier to do that. Hang in there with me. Okay, this is called Valentine, right? Very apropos for the month and for the holiday next week. Not a red rose or a satin heart. I give you an onion. It is a moon wrapped in brown paper. It promises light, like the careful undressing of love. Here, it will bind you with tears like a lover. It will make your reflection a wobbling photo of grief. I am trying to be truthful. Not a cue card or a kissogram. I give you an onion. Its fierce kiss will stay on your lips, possessive and faithful as we are, for as long as we are. Take it. Its platinum loops shrink to a wedding ring, if you like. Lethal. Its scent will cling to your fingers, cling to your knife. All right. Valentine by Carol Ann Duffy.
Relax.
Somebody knows how to do that.
Even say a cruise. Oh, yes, that was nice. Yeah, that was nice.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, we had to turn the TV off. You out in Zoom land there. The news is disturbing, to say the least. And, you know, we were being disturbed by it on the monitor here. So we requested that it be turned off. So thank you for doing that, sir. Wow. What else? You said you were going to do a poem, right? Okay. Oh, she is. Oh, great. Our poet is here as well. Okay. Hey, Heather. Come on in.
I'm gonna do my poem first.
Okay.
You
Okay.
settle in. Hello.
Okay, everyone. Amy Joy, our host with the most, or co-host with the most, is going to do a poem before we get to our featured acts tonight.
I'm ready to do it. Okay, this is from my book. I know I've been talking about this book for like a million years now, but I like it. I know, me too. Okay, you could find it on Amazon. It's called The Purest Kind. It's just a bunch of poems and my doodles, and I feel great about it. So I think you would be happy to gift this to anyone. All right, it's called Fun. It's not really called that. It's called Sing. But the page that guides you next to the poem is Fun plus options or with options. Sing. Come on in. That's not part of the poem. That's my French harp. All right, so sing. Puckered pursuit, precariously postured plate, put forth potential, ping pong pondered, proportioned appropriately. Play, prohibit, play, pleasure, paramount, permission present, privilege. Plowing permitted, prescribed planting. Still, moment marinates. Still, sing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Amy Joy, for that. Yeah, The Purest Kind. Please do check it out. We're already here, I have to say.
Meditate and then you do something else, make it more creative.
It's a nerve. So, Heather, are you ready to come up or you need to settle in more? Okay, everybody. Let me read the bio, however, before we get to Heather. Our first feature tonight is Heather Archibald, who migrated from St. Kitts to New York, where she studied English at Lehman College, earning her bachelor's and master's degrees. She has taught English at colleges both in New York and St. Kitts. In 2000, Heather published her first collection of poems titled Pregnant These Past 20 Years. Her poems have been published in a number of journals, including the Caribbean Writer, Mom Egg Review, and A River of Stories, in which she represents St. Kitts and Nevis. She is also a Callaloo Fellow. Oh, that's impressive. I like that. Yeah. Her second collection of poems, HOM, was published in the summer of 2016. Heather participated as an instructor in the interactive poetry workshop, collaborating with women writers in Bloom Poetry Salon at the CCNY Department of Continuing and Professional Studies. She completed her MFA degree, let's hear it, in creative writing with a thesis in fiction from CCNY in spring 2017. Everybody, please welcome back to Art in the Basin, one of our faves, and we're glad to have her back, Heather Archibald.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. It's something there is that didn't want me to get here tonight. I have been dressed since 5 o'clock. I booked my trip for 5:30 because I live over on the other side of the Bronx. At 5:30, almost 5:20 something, I call Accessoride. I'm an Accessoride user. It's good, don't knock it. It gets me around. That's the only way that I could do all the things that I do. But every so often, it stinks. So I called him at 3 minutes to 5:30, whatever that was, 3:27 or whatever, count it. And they told me the ride is on the way, 3 minutes. So I put my coat on and I go outside and I look outside. Luckily we have a glass door so I don't have to go out, And I looked and I see no traffic. And then I looked on the thing and I see the cab has been here. It just said it arrived. And then I called them. I said, well, the cab arrived, but I don't see anybody. The cab came and picked up somebody else.
No.
And then they're saying that they picked me up and I'm home in the house. Anyway, a series of promises and cars and a series of texts to say, one's gonna be here in 20 minutes, one's gonna be here in 10 minutes, one's gonna be here in 3 minutes. Oh yeah, I go outside and I see a car and I'm going to the car and I notice he's taking something from the back. And I said, we don't have anything for the back. And he said, I'm delivering, not picking up. That wasn't, we did ask him if it was Accessoride. He said yes. So he obviously didn't know what it was about. Anyway, I'm here because of one woman who stayed with me, who called and tried to, from Accessoride. So whenever things go wrong with something that's good, right? So, but I'm here but you guys know that I'm usually here first, right? And the night I have to read is the night. So I'm a little upset, but I'm glad to be here. So I'm all discombobulated. I forget what I So I'm going to read one poem and then I'm going to read from a short story. I'll tell you more about that when I come to it. So St. Kitts used to be, most of my work is written about St. Kitts because when I'm here, I can only write about home. When I'm in St. Kitts, I'm hoping that I could write some New York poems. Hey, this is home too, right? And God knows we need to write about this home. Anyway. This is, St. Kitts used to be a sugar industry. We still have a sugar industry. We still kind of feel like we're close to sugar. In fact, we call Bastia, which is the capital, Sugar City. So this is a poem that I wrote when they got rid of sugar, when our Prime Minister got up one day and decided to end the sugar industry without a plan or anything. And as much as we had said that sugar was making no money, it was really just to provide jobs for people so they could get a bonus at Christmas time. We still missed it. So this is my poem. It actually never made money. It lost money, but it provided employment and the government gave, some money to people who worked in the sugar industry at Christmas time called, what is it called again, Dolores? Was that goat water? Okay, goat water is a nice stew that we make with goat meat. So that was their goat water. That was for them to go out and get their goats and make goat water for Christmas. Anyway. Yeah, we already, right? It's very good too. This poem is called Raw Sugar. At the factory pier, mounds of sugar are laid to be hauled onto ships and sent out to trade. All through the night, a strong raw sugar breeze wafts from the shed through the cinnamon trees. Sugar, oh, that's the problem with reading from a book. Sugar oozing molasses breathes on the still air. Oh God, sorry. Yes.
Beautiful poem right now.
I actually have reading glasses. I forgot to take them out of my bag. Dolores, could you get them for me, please? Sugar oozing molasses breathes on the still air, teasing the taste buds of folk who pass there. Young lovers who sniff the sweet, spicy odor have little idea of the cost of raw sugar. Little they know of the sweat, pain, and labor that ripened and hardened to crusty, sweet flavor. No shade for the heads of workers who weed after planting and tending this great giant weed. At factory, iron teeth threshing fresh stalks may mangle fingers of a feeder who balks. And village boys tempted by fat, juicy canes lose legs dragging stalks from fast-moving trains. King Sugar, thank you. King Sugar, who long feathered the empire's bed, lost his vigor and prowess. In fact, he'd been dead long before he was buried. But many still mourn the absence of the loud sugar factory horn, calling workers in from their shifts, soft sugar canes, the tipsy crop season, and open cart trains. And I miss spice sugar scents on the evening air when I walk during crop time near the factory pier. Thank you. Give me a minute. I couldn't do this and read, so I have to. Yeah, I actually at the stage where I have to have reading glasses, but I always forget that I can't, you know.
Oh, I want to
And the
compose
print is quite fine, so thanks.
to Chopo.
So I live near the sugar factory
That
pier, and I used to walk up there and go to, when I
go.
go to study, when I was doing my
Unfortunate.
exams, I walk up there because not many people hovered there, and it was, you know, I always liked the smell of the sugar that, you know, they had put in the pier to. Okay, I haven't read this poem in a while. It's kind of long and I don't know. It's not very, well, it's long enough for me. But I'm gonna read it. A tropical, I was in the hospital in St. Kitts once. I moved back sometime before, in 96, and I went to teach there at the college that they just opened there. And I got sick and was in the hospital. And this young woman who was at the school where I taught when I was a baby teacher at 18 years old. She was at that school. I didn't actually teach her, but she remembered me and she befriended me. And she would lug from the country where she lived and a long walk to the hospital, a big bag of provisions and stuff because she thought my sickness was because I wasn't eating right, which probably it was. She told me this story of something that happened to her, and I just had to write it. I saw a t-shirt today say, "Watch out, I'm a writer, so anything you say might end up in a story." Well, I'm gonna get that t-shirt or sweatshirt. I don't need a sweatshirt. I'm going back to St. Kitts soon, so I'll wait until I see. Yes. But I thought that was good because when people tell me stories, I feel like they're giving me something to write about because they know I write, the people in St. Kitts. And people tell me some stories that, you know, you wonder why they tell me. It must be that they want me to tell their story for them. At least I'm egotistical enough to think that that's why they give me. I don't care. I tell them anyway. Yeah. A tropical issue. And I wrote this as a sestina, which is, I don't want to teach what a sestina is, but it's kind of, it allows for repetitions of, how do I say this? So you have 6 words that are going to be repeated throughout the 6 main verses of the sestina. So that's why it says long, because it's like 6 verses and then there's a little tercet or something at the end with 3 lines that repeats those words as well. So look it up. I learned it because I look it up. tropical issue. On a great estate lies a rickety shack, broken shutters whipped by fierce rain. Water gathers at the feet of a mother. She walks to sleep a 2-month-old child who, tossing her bottle, screams for more milk. No way to get food on this stormy night. Baby is crying deep into the night. Wind blusters through holes in the shack. Breasts pressed hard can yield no more milk. What moisture exists is in tears and in rain. She whispers a song to comfort the child, but hunger pangs drown out the soft coos of the mother. The family loved the first child born to this mother, a soft, brown like his father, with eyes black as night. They all lived in the main house uphill from the shack. But boyfriend frowned when he saw this girl child. The grandmother snarled and began to rain down insults. This one not his. He's so white like milk. They took back the clothes and the baby's dried milk. Leave this house now, they barked at the mother. That afternoon sky was snorting, threatening rain. She packed what she could and walked into the night. With nowhere else to go, she entered the shack with a bag in her hand, in the other, the child. The young woman sighs, brow pale as her child. She's thinking of how she could get her some milk. Outside, the storm rages. They can't leave the shack. She thinks deeply with the heart of a mother. Lightning flashes and lights up the night. She's holding a cup out into the rain. She rinses the cup, then fills it with rain, mashes leftover yam, then feeds the child, who gulps from her bottle on that gloomy night and rests, stomach happy, with yam water milk. Sleep, mama baby, sleep, sings the mother. Tomorrow I make nice home for you in the shack. So on this dark night, a baby gets yam milk. Noise from the rain does not wake the child, asleep on her mother all night in the shack. Thank you. Ooh. Yes, yes, yes. Now, people talk, the driver who brought me here was wonderful. Like, he really tried to get me here, in a short time. And he said to me, the last thing he said is, I'm coming to St. Kitts. And I told him, yes, come in January, because that's when it's nice and cool, it's not so hot as it is in the summer. And I thought about how many people talk about St. Kitts and say, you're lucky, because it's, exotic and, Caribbean island kind of, Bahama Mama kind of, steel band and, all that. But, it's a place where people live. And people ask me, how's home? I say, it's home. You got the annoying people. You got the people who break in my house if I give them half a chance, even when I don't give them a chance. And so there are those things. So people don't like me to read these poems about, what goes on. But it goes on, so it needs to be written about. I'm looking for the one poem I wanted to read about. And then we have our murders, our young men are killing each other and killing other people. Oh, I call this poem Paradise Lost. It's a question mark. Paradise Lost? Was it paradise to begin with? Maybe? That's not part of the poem. So La Amiga was the name of the island. So, you know, the history is that the indigenous people came up from South America and on canoes, and they come up through the islands. And St. Kitts is about the middle of that archipelago of islands. And so by the time a certain person got there and discovered it, the people they called Caribs were there. We call them the Kalinago people because they didn't call themselves Caribs. In fact, I've read that Carib, the word Carib is a word in their language that means cannibal, right? And that's the word they chose to put in the history books to name these people. Yes, well, yeah, so we all carry this cannibal name, you know, and we use it, you know. I forget half the times because it's just easier to forget. So La Amiga was the name that the Kalinago people called St. Kitts. What we call St. Kitts. It's actually called St. Kitts because of St. Christopher. St. Christopher, not Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus named it, but he named it St. Christopher because he said when he was coming in, well, he and his, you know, people, they saw a mountain that looked like St. Christopher carrying Jesus. You know that story of the, how it goes. A child asked St. Christopher to take him across the water. His job was to take people across this muddy area. And this child came and he was tired at the end of the day, I think. I'm probably putting my own story in this, but that's basically it. He was tired and he takes this child, and as he's taking the child across, the child is getting bigger and bigger on his back, and it turns out to be Jesus. Okay. It's you know, that ain't in the Bible. That's something we make up. Anyway. So La Amiga means fertile soil. And so that was the name that they gave. We do have a lot of water. We have, you know, we're just a small island, so we can't feed the world. We can't even feed ourselves. We still import a lot, but you know, we get things to grow there. And we have a lot of rainfall. So we call it paradise. We think of it as paradise. It kind of was well, it never was, but when I left there 3 years ago, we never had a lock on our doors. And I've had people say that in small towns here in the US too. It's a different time. We were 6 of us, and as we were growing up, we just put our hand to the louvers, opened the door to come in the house, and slept pretty much like that, you know? Now, geez, I got lock on my doors and they still managed to come in. Anyway, enough of that. Let me read the poem. Paradise Lost, La Amiga, fertile soil, St. Christopher, bearer of Christ child, St. Kitts, Sugar City. Rains and waterfalls watched us. Here we grew, left Sunday schools and serene walks along the seawalls, rocks around your shoreline, long hid brandy, whiskey, wines, not cocaine, never Uzis. Now our streets ooze blood of youth, a boy shot as he walks with his girlfriend one full moon night, another killed in a shop as he buys bottled water, and others, children of friends, of neighbors, of cousins, friends of nephews, silenced by gun blaze. Like those in the black and white Westerns we watched in schoolrooms, there at least the film would break before the next gunfight, and we could shelve the horror. Now bullets bear our accents. We shrug, no longer Marvel. And this was quite a few years ago, and it's still happening, and it's even, no, we don't.
Crack baby, that's why it's all the color why it's happening on the streets right now.
Well, I don't know, we do have some drug problems, but I don't know, it's something more sinister, I think. Okay. And I'm gonna, I don't remember how long the time was. Yes. Yeah, well, you know what? I want to read some of my story. Let me tell you about the story. It's not gonna be long. Yeah. So last year I applied to the Commonwealth Prize, which also a citizen of a Commonwealth country, which is what St. Kitts. And all that means is that Britain they colonized us, and now we have this we're now independent, but we are considered part of the Commonwealth. And we don't really worry about it, It's good to know meet people from Africa who are also from the Commonwealth and other places like in, the East and, so I suppose it kind of binds us together, but you always have to remember that this was not a good thing as it began. But they're trying to make up for it, at least the Commonwealth Foundation. And they have a short story prize every year. And for years I'd been meaning to, and I said, really, But last year, 24, no, it was 23. The prize was 24 by the time it was, announced. I didn't win the prize. Let me just up in there. But this amazing thing happened where I was one of 23 people shortlisted out of 7,300 and something. I woke up one morning, and I saw all these texts on my phone, people telling me, congratulations. I was like, oh, they got the news. I had already known that I was shortlisted, but I was told not to say anything except to my family and friends. And so when it came over on the news, people were calling me, and people felt, I was so amazed that this little writing that I do, a scribble by myself somewhere in the night when I feel like it, meant so much to people. Because St. Kitts is a tiny place, and that was the first time that anybody had applied for the Commonwealth Prize. And so St. Kitts felt like they had been put on the map. I became a celebrity. I was on TV, and I was like, what? Anyway, yes. It's St. Kitts style. Yeah. Anyway, this story that I wrote, somebody shared this story with me about her childhood. And I just, I wrote it. When I wrote it, I didn't write it for any prize. But when I was looking for a story, I revised it and sent it in. So this is about a woman who is in her 50s, maybe more. 50s sound really young to me now. So when I wrote it, 50s seemed like cool. No, but that's a baby, right? Okay. So she's raising these children for a man she used to love, and who has since then married a younger woman so that she could give him children, and has gone off to England to make their fortune. And so this is a story about people leaving. A lot of my stories about people leaving. Well, you see, I'm here, right? So that's a main theme in my life. So then this man comes and starts talking to her, and they become friendly. And then he, of course, when he got friendly enough, he wants her to ditch the children so that they could have this, so this is that part. I'm just going to read a part of it. So they're arguing about this. And he said to her, they're getting big now. Tarman didn't heed the warning in Adeline's, her name is Adeline's, in Adeline's hiss. They have people they could go to live with until their mother and father come for them. Then we could have a life together. Those children dear to me, if their father and mother come, they will get them. But I ain't giving them to nobody to take advantage of them. It's girls the name. You sure you ain't want to give them up because you're still in love with their father? Tarman ventured. His name is Tarman. He's called Tarman because he's very dark. So, you know, in Caribbean, you get a name for what you look like, right? I was Heather Feather. That wasn't, I was never like a feather. I don't know. It just rhymed. Tarman ventured. There was now no turning back for him. Adeline knew that he knew, like all the people in Newtown, the story behind the children she cared for. Many tongues had flapped through the years, so he must have heard the story. But since he had never mentioned it, neither had she. But that was before last night. Alfred, she said, calling him by his Christian name in a fierce whisper. I never thought you'd have thrown nigger story in my face. If you want to know something about me, ask me. Adeline, I just want to know. Yes, I hear things. I is a man. I have to know whether you're still carrying around some other man in your heart. What's in my heart is mine, Alfred Watterson. You hear me ask you what in your heart? You don't have to ask, Adeline. You know what in my heart, but we can't get married unless you give up them children. This is time for you and me to relax and enjoy life, not raising somebody else's child who have a young mother. You're going past 50 now. Why are you still wanting to hurt your head with children? Sorry, my printer was bad. Adeline got up slowly from where she was sitting. She opened the door to the girls' room and looked in on them. There seemed to be no change in their breathing, but she knew that you can't always be sure children are not listening to big people talk. She closed the door and then opened the door to the outside. Alfred, I think you should leave now. We can talk about this another time. Tarman paused for a bit. Then he rose from the bed. He passed Adeline by the door and stood to face her from the bottom step, which evened out the difference in their heights. He looked her dead in her eyes. I don't really need to talk about this again. I don't tell you how I see things. You have to decide whether it's going to be me, them, or me. You can take all the time you need to make up your mind, but mine done make up already. I too old to have children in my life. With that, he walked down the newly refurbished concrete steps, which by the way, he had refurbished, and through the gate. Adeline watched him put his hand over the gate to replace the hook, and she waited until she no longer heard his footstep down the alley. Then she slowly closed the door. She knelt by her bed for a long time and then went to sleep. I will end it there. You can. Thank you so much. The story has been published in ADDA, ADDA, which is the Commonwealth's, where they publish the works, you know, and they publish other things too, poetry and, you know, but they published the prize there. And I wanted to print the little illustration they made of this cute little house and the two little girls sitting on the step. It was so cute. So if you ever get a chance, I have the link somewhere. I don't know how to pass it around. So if you want to read the rest of the story and see how it ends, you can do that. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Monomoore. Thank you, Amy and Tim.
All right, everybody. Heather Archibald, let's hear it one more time. Thank you so much for that wonderful reading. And, you know, like, it was like a transcendent moment there, I think, you know, just like how you loosened up tonight. I mean, I think, you know, having a bad experience in a car, like really like, you know, loosened you up. I think that was like, you know, it might have been a might have been a positive experience, even though it sounded kind of negative at the beginning. But anyway, thank you so much, Heather. I'm sorry you didn't have your glasses at the beginning, but I have to say, when you take a picture and you have glasses on, you get like a white ring from this light. So we don't have a white ring in our pictures of you tonight. So, and thank you. And you know, goat water, right? Was goat water? Goat water, man, that's like a new term I've learned tonight from like Heather. Like hilarious. Anyway, thank you again, Heather. Just a wonderful person, sonorous voice. Just man, she has it all as a performance poet and a poet. It's on the page as well. It's really great. So thank you again. I guess we're gonna go to open mic. Okay. Wow. I didn't bring my clipboard, but oh, she's gonna get the clipboard. Did hear something about making sure to put on your camera and record Heather. Heather was in fact recorded. We are live streaming this event on YouTube as we do every other Tuesday at Monomore Coffee and Wine during Art in the Masons reading. Well, yeah, except for the winter months when it's once a month, but anyhow, we are live streaming on Facebook, so hopefully that's okay with everyone. It will be uploaded to YouTube. Did I say Facebook? I meant YouTube. It will be uploaded to YouTube Live. Yeah. And then it will be uploaded tomorrow or tonight or something. It's happening. Well, it's being uploaded as we speak. You can tell, like, I'm just a real technical whiz here with this stuff. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Do check it out. We have collected quite a catalog now of YouTube videos of our events here at Art in the Basin. Hopefully you'll check those out. We are online at Art in the Basin on YouTube. That's our channel. Art in the Basin on Instagram. And of course, AITB Art in the Basin on Facebook. Oh my. Okay. Anyway, this is a live event. We were in the room here at Monomore Coffee and Wine, corner of Broadway and 238th Street in the Bronx, New York. You hear the train sometimes in the background, and you hear people shouting at the bus driver. Okay. Smiles. Okay. Well, that's better than, your wallet. Oh, okay. Man, weird. Anyhow, that doesn't normally happen, by the way. So shoot, let's get to the open micers here in the room. Then we'll get to the people on Zoom, and after that, we will have comedy. So let's see. Geez, hard act to follow with Heather, but maybe Eric, are you up for it? You want to give it a try? Everybody, Eric.
Do something that I've never done before. Let's see what happens. It's very good to be here. I didn't buy anything yet, but I will. I'm looking at all those nice. Okay, this is going to be the very unprofessional because I have to look at the words since it's new. So please forgive me for that. I'll try not to do that. But that's where we are. Yeah.
And you can put your papers here.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, right? Instead of you being up on the camera.
This is on, I take it?
Yeah. Right.
Excuse me just one more moment here.
This thing on. I'm kidding. Oh, he's ready. I just wanted Heather to know that Diane said, lovely hearing you read. And Adam sent his gratitude for your poetry. All right.
And I want to say that I used to work with Heather's mom. So we go back a way. Yeah. And we discovered that we were doing some of the same things, which was a nice surprise because I had gotten a book of poetry from her mom. And I said, "Oh, that's great stuff." So I'm been very fortunate to have been able to meet Heather and listen to some of those wonderful renditions. So this is a song called Don't Strain Your Brain. That's right. It is it. Do I need to speak louder? Because okay. Oh, I'll have to do that. Don't strain your brain. Leave it alone. You can find everything you need right there on your phone. Don't strain your brain. What you trying to do? There's plenty of brains out there ready to think for you. So don't strain. No, don't strain. Don't strain your brain. Don't strain your brain. Give it a rest. Life is too short to make it a test. Don't strain your brain. Give it some peace. There's more ideas running around there than what's allowed in your lease. So don't strain. No, don't strain. Don't strain your brain. Don't strain your brain. Don't worry, it's cool. Go ahead and forget everything you learn in school. Cramming stuff in there ain't a healthy way. Don't you think it's time to give your brain an off day? Just don't strain. No, don't strain. Don't strain your brain. Don't strain your brain. It don't need no side hustle. Don't take it to the gym, cause it ain't no muscle. Be careful with your brain, cause you know it's true. If you mistreat your brain, it might walk right out on you. So don't strain. No, don't strain. Don't strain your brain. Don't strain your brain. Keep it sweet and light. Your brain knows very well what to do at night. Take it easy with your brain. Treat it like a friend. If you want to keep it working till the very end, just don't strain. No, don't strain. Don't strain your brain. No, don't strain. Don't strain. Don't strain your brain. Don't shrug your shoulder. Don't roll your eyes. Don't try to put on some big disguise. Just leave your brain to us. We'll take good care to make sure no troubling thoughts find their way down there. So don't strain. Don't strain. Don't strain your brain.
Got no high school here, listen to all of this, this is education right here. High school, 45 years, high school experience.
Wow. Thank you, Eric, for that. Eric is just hilarious. I mean, there's like many more from where that came from. Yeah.
The young guy came out of you. That's what. Another 30 years.
Do we have is there like a Ben in the house? Ben? Is there a Ben in the house? Ben. B-E-N, Ben.
Yeah.
Ben.
Oh, no, that's.
The opera guys. Oh, okay. So all right, but there's another Eric with Ben and Eric, and they're not here. Okay, they're the Bronx Opera Gentlemen. Are they? Yeah, we'll get you there. Is there a Brad? Brad, let's hear from Brad. Then we'll get to this, sir.
Don't be camera shy.
Oh, wait, I was sending a report. Oh, wait, wrong. Sorry.
Phone's on record, so you get everything. Okay, because we're living in the moment right now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brad. And I'm gonna start with something different. I have a poem that I like to, it's about my girlfriend, and she loves it, and this is she's watching online. I'll dedicate to her. It's called Bloated Lady. Bloated lady, I'm sorry your pants don't fit. Bloated lady, I know you feel like shit. Bloated lady, at least we know the cause. Bloated lady, it's perimenopause. Thank you very much. So I'm unemployed, and I'm sure you're probably wondering, you can't imagine why, but I've been looking for a job for a while, and I understand that after a while it's not me, it's the current workforce, because the current workforce doesn't want people anymore. They don't want, they don't want computers. They're not looking for people, they're looking for unicorns and gurus and ninjas. I mean, I don't know who's in charge, but they're letting the 9-year-olds do the hiring. And they want also, will somebody get that? They also want superheroes. And this baffles me, because when you go in meetings, they don't want to know your skills anymore. They want to know your superpowers. Brad, what's your superpower? I don't know. I came here to work, not to cosplay the Winter Soldier. And seriously, you go around meetings and they'll say, Deborah, what's your superpower? Well, my superpower is I make every deadline that's assigned to me. Okay, that's your basic job skill. That's not a superpower. Anyone else? Linda, my superpower is every Wednesday I bring a batch of muffins to the break room so everyone can get over hump day. That's nice, but in terms of superpowers, that's not going to be very effective against Lex Luthor's death ray. your muffins. I mean, it's insulting. We see Marvel movies. Is that what the multiverse is supposed to be? A bunch of cubicles? It's even real superpowers. It's insulting to superpowers. The real superheroes like Batman. No one asked Batman to do a spreadsheet or Robin to fill out a special report. That's what Alfred's for. They let Alfred do that shit. But I think the worst of all this is when they say they want, I mean, say it with me, people. We want a rock star. We want a rock star to come in and rock the office. Yeah, no, you don't. If you really want a rock star, well, then they're gonna have to stop drug testing and don't have a meeting that starts before, oh, I don't know, 10 p.m. I mean, this is a true story. Everyone knows who Pete Townsend is of the Who. Won't get fooled again. Tommy, real rock star, capital R rock star. Pete Townsend in the 80s quit rock and roll and took an office job to be a book editor. This is true. You can look it up. He wanted to be a book editor. This man was a heroin addict. This man got in fistfights with his band. He smashed guitars on stages. He smashed hotel rooms all over the world. And he spent a few months in an office and said, these people are bonkers. So that's my time. Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Brad Mislow. I'll be doing this more often, and you're a great crowd.
Okay. So everybody went to Stop and Shop. So I'm in Stop and Shop. I'm just looking for blueberries and some other stuff. Everybody's panicking. I said to a lady, she almost hit me with a shopping cart. I said, "Do you drive like that?" I did. So I kept it moving. I'm looking at everybody. Then I see everybody online all panicking because they thought we were going to get a snowstorm, and the weathermen make the most money, and they tell us to go, go to the store, get everything. We're in a snowstorm. We got no snowstorm. No snowstorm. Think about that for a second. Just wrap your head around that. You go in the Stop and Shop right here. You think you're getting a snowstorm in 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. No snowstorm. So now you're spending all your money on snowstorm on food, and there's no snow. And now you're walking around the Stop. Now you're walking around the Stop and Shop. People hitting you with the shopping cart because they're all panicking because they think we're getting a snowstorm. And there's a snowstorm. So now I'm going to the next story.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, sir. I really
That's
appreciate
enough?
your first story.
$6,000
Yeah, we have
to go the cheapest seat and cheapest seat, the cheapest seat at the Super Bowl is $6,000.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you. Look at she's very aggressive.
I'm sorry.
Very aggressive.
I am sorry.
I'm a trainer at Planet Fitness. Anybody want to get shape, I'll train you.
All right, cool.
All right, thank you. 156. Yeah, thank you. Do come back and tell us that next story. Yeah, we doing this open mic here, and we're trying to keep it moving. Susan, do you have something for us? Yeah, do you have something for us tonight, Susan? Okay, everybody, Susan, please.
Before Susan comes on, I just want to apologize to everybody online. I appreciate you guys coming out, but we are running a little bit tight on time. Monora is closing really like right now, and we still have comedy for you. We brought her here for you, Mindy, and we want to hear her. So Susan, please, briefly. I'd love to hear it.
3 minutes I made.
Just one.
Oh, come on. Forget it. Yeah, I mean,
Okay, it's
I'm 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay.
Well, this is my first time here, except at last time I was online. And I didn't come here to make you laugh. But I do like to laugh. I think it's very serious business to laugh. This is the opening of a book. 3 minutes. The bath brought back the image from some darkened morning when my body said, "Sleep no more. Sleep no more." My mind wanted nothing more than to be lost again in the waves of sleep. The image, a rocky piece of land, rectangular, a lot for building, yet a stone wall already solidly sat on it, constructed perhaps 100 years ago to support the home which once rose from this land. The wall intact, having been carefully, sturdily built. It rose about 4 feet from the ground with one opening that would allow passage into the uneven space. I viewed the lot from above and to the left, seeing the lot from a tree that knew the history of this piece of land, of this stone wall. Perhaps I am this tree. The tree had watched the house being built, the house whose remains now create the rough, irregular surface covered with the green growth of grass. The house had come down and the tree had witnessed it all. She knew the people who lived there and their comings and goings. The tree spoke the language of the wind, light, leaves, and air. Her roots reached deeply into the earth and took nourishment. I cannot translate her language as yet, though my body knows it. The language is not human, and while the tree shares her memories with me, they rise out of the earth's forces, and I have not yet found how to fully share them with you. This piece of ground is an empty space waiting for me to fill. When I first saw this image, I knew this, yet I had no idea where or when I would start the work. I only knew that I had accepted the plot. I was reminded of a dream image from 2 years earlier. In that dream, I witnessed a cathedral-like space with a Romanesque vaulted ceiling being supported by 4 very large live copper beeches. Each tree's roots were held within burlap bags. They could not be nourished by the earth back then. There were birds in the trees and white clematis, virgin's bower, which entwined the branches in a splendid full bloom. When my new dream gave me the empty plot from a life empty of most childhood memory, I remembered the dream image of the 4 trees that offered shelter and refuge without being rooted. The bagged roots then seemed like the past was still holding back my ability to be nourished, to grow, and yet it seems so strange that these trees grew so large without being rooted. They must have been dug up from where they were growing and moved to this cathedral spot, my sanctuary. So many years later, I am now the tree of undisclosed origin, working to translate my story, to tell the tale of the ruins of this plot and how they came to be.
Right. Thank you, Susan, for coming out tonight. Yeah, like we saw Susan online before. I haven't met her in person till tonight, and it was great. Really appreciated you sharing tonight. So we're gonna move on to our second feature of the night. I have some stand-up comedy coming at you, so do hang out. Mindy Matijasevic. God, I always have a hard time with the name, but anyway, Materials has been described as mature, funny, and sexy, and has been called alarming, especially to husbands and other tradition-bound people. She is gratefully divorced. Her core material stems from there and simply seeing through a woman's eyes. She's been inspired by comics such as Robin Tyler and Richard Pryor for daring to speak the unspoken, which helped shine light on those in the shadows. They are just 2 who helped more humanity forward in terms of style. She connects in a conversational voice with the audience, as long as they are okay with adult subject matter and language. And she has been thanked by audience members for taking that to them and she has been thanked by audience members for talking to them and not at them. And just be forewarned, her material is rated R. Everybody, please welcome Mindy.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's good to be here. If anyone, well, you're all New Yorkers, right? Now, everyone's a New Yorker. I'm always concerned when people come here and visit that they don't judge all of us, by our litterers and our public urinators or subway masturbators and a crotch grabber, but he's back in DC now, so one less issue. Anyway, I am gratefully divorced. Absolutely. I don't think I'd ever gotten married if there was no such thing as divorce. It's like a life sentence. Anyway, Now I know happily married people, God bless you, you found your person. I was with not my person, really. And he was very difficult to live with and even more difficult to get rid of, really. I mean, I had to get really creative. And I even created a penis-free zone. It's located right around here. Yeah, that really helped move things along. Anyway, um, and look, I don't want to totally badmouth him because the odds were against us. It was a mixed marriage. He was male. I'm glad we see eye to eye in here, you know. Anyway, and when I was, you know, single again after a long unhappy marriage, um, I noticed well, it's different now. I'm older. I'm not old. In between naps, I feel very young. But you know, a lot hadn't changed out here in terms of people. I mean, like some guy referred to me as a chick, and like guys, that's not even a mammal. I mean, and then my younger male cousin was so kind to point out that I'm no spring chicken. So I thought, great, I'm finally a real live woman. No longer poultry, you know? And then what has changed is all the technology, and I'm real behind. I mean, when he was saying turn on your video on your phone, I have a flip phone. We don't Google anything on it. And yeah, so that's where I'm at with technology. So I had no idea how someone got a picture on my computer screen. I mean, maybe it was through Facebook. I have no idea. I was just home, like growing back my hymen. And I do that a lot. Anyway, anyway, oh, you're the high school teacher. Your hymen is what young guys used to call cherry. All right. Well, anyway, all right, hush. Okay, so and this person got this picture on my computer screen. I was shocked of presumably his penis getting oral attention from a smiling young woman. And after being grossed out, I wondered, like, what the hell is this? Is this hello? Is this the new hello? Because I won't be going to any meet and greets. I'll tell you, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And like, what is that about? That doesn't make any man unique. Maybe I'm naive. I mean, I've been out of the loop a long time, but when I meet a man, I assume he has a penis. I assume it's in working order and reasonable. You don't have to film it. Jeez.
Why are we going right now?
Yes, I am. Oh my goodness. And then one time I was doing comedy and some man in the audience, it wasn't him, uh, uh, but some man in the audience was very irrational, wanted to argue with me. So I wouldn't talk to him at all. I mean, you know, I did years of marriage. I'm not doing that with someone I don't even know. Anyway, so I he told me he brought it to his level. He told me I had no balls. Now, I know in the male world those are fighting words, but in the female world, what's that? That's so redundant. I don't need balls. I have everything I need. And you know, it's worked out just fine. I like the whole arrangement. And I like the way my jeans fit. There's no room in here. Thank you, sir. And there's no room in here for balls. My God. My goodness. Eh, Anyway, I know we're short on time, so let me just say, when you start doing comedy, you go to a lot of open mics, but they're comedy open mics, very different from poetry or music. And it's usually just other comics sitting there waiting to go up, maybe even being resentful. I don't know. It's a whole different world. Anyway, but occasionally I did have some good experiences. Now, most of the comedy is guys, and they're mostly much younger than me. So I think that I was a little shocking to a lot of young guys because I must look like their mom, and I'm talking dick and pussy and all of this. And so, and so, and one time this group, thank you. Anyway, this group of young guys came over, and they really were impressed. They gave me the pound, and they told me that was ballsy. Now, I know they meant it as a compliment, so I accepted it graciously. But honestly, when you go home later and you're still thinking about some of the things that were said here, and you're still giggling, I don't consider that ballsy. I consider that rather clitoral. Thank you all so much. You were so much fun. Such a fun audience. Thank you. Thank you, Tim and Amy.
All right, thank you, Mindy. Yeah, man, hilarious stuff. And just stay up here. We're gonna finish, as we always do at the Art in the Basin open mic, with the benediction. And so if Heather will come join us, Amy Joy will, I guess, kind of take over.
So, thank you guys so much. Forgive us for not getting to the open mic online. Forgive us for not getting to the people in the room. But all right, we are going to have Heather take over and read the benediction.
Lead love, love at the helm. Take me to an unseen realm. In it, I'll dwell under sacred spell, waving until your gaze sets still. Love, I think we read this together. Love, lead the way. Oh.
You want to do it?
No,
Okay, say on 3, let love lead. Okay, so everyone on 3 with
Let love lead. Let love lead. Thank you.
Thank you all. I'm sorry that I didn't get to Miss Fly Vita because she is fly indeed. But you guys can enjoy her after. Remember, Mona Moore is getting out of here, so we appreciate you coming out. But if you're with me in 2025, you're going to put that lead first. And if you're still here with me, you're going to say these 3 words with me. Lead, let, love. Okay, ready? En trois, en deux, trois. Lead, let, love. Wait. Lead with love and let that love in and out. Yes, we are out of here. Ciao.